What's up, y'all? It's Buu E. Today, I want to talk about how simps, how simps and stalkers, and the more creepier side of the male um, gender, sex, or whatnot, how they kind of make things a little bit more different, a little bit more difficult for the rest of us dudes out there when it comes to courting women, meeting women, and stuff like that. You know, guys that are stalkerish or abusive, violent, a little too aggressive towards women and stuff like that. They make it a little bit. They complicate meeting new women to an extent. I feel like instead of a woman just excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Instead of a woman just being able to tell a guy, yeah, I'm not interested. You're not my speed. You're not my type, or whatever the case may be. Now, I guess a lot of women feel as if they might have to lie and be like, play along and get along, and then maybe give out a fake number or, you know, stuff like that, or act like she likes a guy until he's, out of sight, out of mind, and then that's where you get some instances of ghosting. And I believe it's because, I mean, if you check out the news, I don't know if y'all check out the news and stay up to date on what's going on in the world, but like there's been there's been stories and incidences of like women rejecting guys' advances, and then the guys becoming violent with them and putting hands on them and pulling guns on them and shit like that. I'm like, what's wrong with these motherfuckers out here? What's wrong with these niggas? You know? And so when you got stories like that, and incidences and events like that kind of make it hard for women to be upfront and straightforward with us guys. And there's a difference in the genders and how we prefer our communication styles. Women tend to be more indirect and beat around the bushy. Us men, we tend to be more direct and straightforward with what we typically. Of course, there are incidences that are to the contrary, such as how each individual may have been raised, um, the family style or setup that they come from, like single parent, dual parent, and then what type of men and women raised the child. So many different factors. The environment that they grew up in. If it's a rougher environment, then you're gonna more than likely have rougher individuals. Stuff like that. But yeah, and then you got the stalkers. Guys that stalk women and they don't know how to take no for an answer, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Some of these motherfuckers throw their lives away over, a rejection. And I just personally, I don't understand that. Like, you ain't got nothing else to live for? You mean to tell me you about to kill this girl or beat on this girl and then kill yourself because she rejected you? Nigga, are you stupid? Are you crazy? Why would you do that? Whew, I don't know. And then you look at like the statistics, the stats, the makeup of the world. I think that women outnumber men on Earth anyway. Now, I can't tell you about Mars, Venus, Pluto. I can't tell you about them other planets now. But I can tell you about Earth. And supposedly here on Earth, women outnumber men. So when I hear stories like that, things, these guys flipping out and acting crazy, I don't understand it, because it's like there's gonna be another girl right around the corner, and even if she ain't right around the corner, she might be down the street, or across the street. And you just give it time. What's that song by the Whispers? How does it go? Do, 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 do. Just like something, 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 there'll always be someone new, dun, 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 who loves you better. I've been through stormy weather, and the beat goes on, just like our love everlasting. You know, I think that a lot of people think short term versus long term. That's what I'm starting to believe about the average person. I think the average person prefers short term, immediate gratification over long term, um, delayed gratification. Even if you tell a person, listen, you can have $10,000 now, or you can wait 5 years and I'll give you $10 million. I feel like the average person would probably take the $10,000 now rather than wait the 5 years and take the $10 million. And you can't always blame the person because everybody's situation is different. If you telling somebody whose house is about to be foreclosed on, they just got fired from work, and they got a couple of kids that they looking after, and they don't know where the next meal is coming from. If you tell them, hey, here's 10K now, or 5 mil, well, 10 mil, 5 years from now, they might take that 10,000 because they got kids to feed. They about to get their house took from them. They just lost their employment to feed themselves and house themselves and them kids. So that's something to think about. Everybody's situation is different. But that's what I've noticed. I feel like a lot of people tend to gravitate more towards the immediate gratification side of the spectrum. They think of short-term rewards and consequences versus long-term rewards and consequences. I mean, just think about how many people might have a dispute, and the first thing they want to do is they want to kill somebody. It's a dispute, and more than likely, it's not something serious enough where a life should be taken. But yet, that's one of the first things that a person might want to resort to. Such a permanent decision made from such a temporary circumstance. Ain't that something? So yeah, I think that people gotta really employ critical thinking. People gotta employ critical thinking and really weigh out the impact of decisions made. You know, and I feel like a lot of times if people plan with more of a long term outlook and perspective on things, I think things will probably tend to work out more often than not in one's favor. But once again, I guess it just depends on each person's individual circumstance. So, and I think that outlook on things may also contribute to these simps and stalkers and abusive types doing what they do because they're not thinking long term like, hey, another woman to be around the corner. Maybe that just wasn't the woman for me. Nah, they on some Marlon Wayans off of Don't Be a Menace type shit. They give me your phone number with the gun drawn on her. I'm like, oh shit, damn, bruh, it's like that. Whew. Some women like guys like that though, which is another interesting thing. Is how can someone be attracted to someone that's abusive? I've never understood the concept, but that is a thing, unfortunately. So, just something I was thinking about as I clip my fingernails. So, they probably like, you getting there clipping your fingernails? Yeah. Because if you think about it, when you got long, that's me personally. I think that's kind of gross when people got long ass fingernails. Because typically, people with long ass fingernails be having dirt all up them under them. I don't want to be that guy. You know, my hands resting on the table and motherfuckers is whispering back and forth about me like, girl, look at the dirt under his nail. He look like he been digging up dirt with his hands. That boy look like he done been digging, scratching up dirt, playing in the mud with the kids. So yeah. Alright, that's all I got for y'all. Till next time. Peace.